2, 1.
And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
All right, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty. Always helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, investing, refinancing, 80 different categories of consumer advocates also, where we bring in all of our different attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors. We got one of the best here as well, Jay Smith, A-Snoop Inspection, back in studio with us, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Got some interesting stuff we're going to get into here today. Got some recent economic news. Core inflation slows to the most that it's done in 5 years. So since pre-pandemic, the core inflation slowing. Mortgage affordability reached a 4-year high also this year. Interesting stuff there. We got some other topics we're going to get into as well. We also have special guest joining us today, Scott Reynolds from the PewterReport, going to be in studio with us here today as well. Follows the Bucks for a couple decades now, over 2 decades, following the Buccaneers. And we'll get into a little sports on this program today. We'll have some fun talking about that here as well. Also kind of revisit what's going on with Florida Doge. You know, over $2 billion now wasteful and excessive spending that's been found here, throughout the state of Florida. And man, some of these different stories we're coming across. Another one just surfaced here, $1.7 million pointed out by Blazing Golia, the CFO, Chief Financial Officer in the state of Florida, found over in Broward County, of course, Miami-Dade, Broward County, a lot of the fraud originates down there. But another claims adjuster caught something like 220 times she sent out they had fraud deal that came in, where they were saying, hey, we got potholes over here, problem over here, and then she would handpick those files to the tune of $1.7 million of fraud that was just found down in Broward County. So she's going to go to jail. So that'll be interesting to see how that happens here, how that plays out. All right, coming up here in just a moment, we're going to talk with Jay Smith, longtime friend of the show, home inspector, A-Snoop.com, A-Snoop.com. He is the Snoop Dog, going to snoop around your properties and find out what the condition is. So, all right, always helping you win in your real estate deals as well, buying, selling, investing. We always feature our listings on air. We got a couple of hot ones here. This one's 369 West Winds Drive, Palm Harbor. Beautiful single-family home, split floor plan. Great opportunity to buy real estate right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. This is a 322. You got 14 square feet, quarter-acre lot. Located in Baywood Village, which is a boater-friendly community. Bring your boat, bring your jet skis, enjoy that Florida living that Florida lifestyle to the fullest. You got a renovated kitchen, stainless steel appliances, breakfast bar, lots of cabinetry there as well, storage. You have a boat dock, community boat ramp, so you can bring your boat down, back it right in there, and next thing you know, you're out in the Gulf there. You're fishing, you're catching some trout, some snook, some mangrove snapper. Great opportunity to live right here in beautiful Florida, Tampa Bay. Dunedin's just around the corner. Lots of beaches really close as well. 369 West Winds Drive, Palm Harbor. Another one of our listings. All right, we got a vacant lot here, 6374 Boatyard Drive in Hudson, Florida. Boatyard Drive, Hudson, Florida. Another beautiful listing from the Platinum MVP team. This is vacant land. Build your dream home. This is 0.37 acres, got an R4 zoning, and you're right at the end here. Now, the neighbor to your left is going to be the Gulf of America. You're right on the water, end unit. Build your dream home, beautiful property, right around a $400,000 parcel of land. You have, of course, fishing, kayaking, all that there. 176 feet of brand new concrete seawall and a boat ramp that was just recently put in. So you have your own boat ramp at your home. So great opportunity there in Tampa Bay. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And you can see all of our radio and TV show expert contributors at consumerqb.com. Yeah, once you hit the website, too, make sure you link over to our YouTube channel, subscribe to YouTube, and we just had one of our videos go viral, man. We got over 1 million views, 1.1 million views on a recent video. You know what it was? It was an HOA that towed a owner's vehicle out of the driveway. It says, it had a flat tire, had some faded paint, and the the guy comes back from vacation, says, Your Honor, and this was in the court scene, says, Your Honor, that car was a 19 whatever Buick. It ended up being a $185,000 classic car that they sold for parts. They just sold it.
No way.
Towed it and sold it. He said, you went on private property, you stole. So anyways, go to our websites, go to our YouTube channel, follow us online. We'd love to connect with you there. And I promise you'll like some of the content you find online. But Jay Smith back in studio. Welcome back, sir.
We're glad to be back.
Yeah, man. What's new in your world?
Things picking up. I mean, it seems like the market's changing.
Yeah, it is. There's so many economic indicators that are leading in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Makes me happy.
Yeah, man.
It actually feels more like a normal year so far.
Good. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I see it picking up too, man. We're putting deals under contract. Things are happening, getting a lot of listings. And, the market's just, it's primed to turn, right? We're seeing taxes, the conversation around property taxes kind of coming into fruition. There's multiple bills that are still being debated, being talked about on the Hill. I reached out to Bernie Jacques. He's our local state representative, longtime friend of the show, State Rep Bernie Jacques, and he was mentioning, there's 3 or 4 different bills that are kind of the front runner. One is like a 10-year phase out, $100,000 a year. Let's phase it out slowly, give the municipalities time to kind of adjust their revenues. Another one's more of like
adjust their budgets.
Yeah, adjust their budgets. That's right.
I mean, that have gotten overinflated, unfortunately.
They have. They sure have. I mean, it's human nature. Let's spend it.
Well, when it's almost doubled in the last 5-6 years.
That's right.
What are you doing with all that money?
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Well, we found out what they're doing, and like the Broward County School Board did their Ritz-Carlton trip. They got to go to Ritz-Carlton for $100,000, and all this waste, fraud, and abuse, man. They're finding it. They're getting.
Yeah, but are they taking all of us? Can we go too?
I know, right? Can we go on our own tax dollar? Man, I got a clip I want to play too that I'm going to get to here in just a moment with Senator Josh Hawley. $1 trillion on a national level. I mean, you look at Florida, we found $2 billion here throughout the state of Florida. But this is, when you look at the national numbers coming out of D.C., I'll play that clip in a minute. But, there's so much waste, fraud, and abuse throughout our country, throughout the state. But going back to our point, optimistic about the real estate market, right?
I am.
So many positive things. You see insurance is coming down. I reached out to Danny, our insurance contributor for the show, Danny White, SSW Insurance. Saved me some money on my car insurance. I sound like one of those commercials now. But, yeah, look, you have tax-free access now to 401ks, okay? That's a big deal. People are going to be accessed 401k, put money into real estate. Higher tax refunds. A lot of people are seeing that. We were talking with Mark Hay, our financial advisor, and he mentioned, a lot of his clients are seeing higher tax refunds. Let's put that down payment. Let's make something happen, right? You have ending of institutional investors, i.e. BlackRock and these other big Vanguard, State Street, these big firms buying up competing residential properties from the veterans, the first-time buyers. We hate to see that. You also have the potential, there's been a lot of talks about different mortgage products to help create more opportunity there and affordability. Gas prices are down. Credit cards are capped at 10%. There's so many different things happening. There's a lot of positive momentum, Jay.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I feel it. I feel the market picking up. And like you said, gas prices have been very reasonable for a while. And that changes. And heck, that changes the products that we're buying everywhere, whether it's at Walmart or the grocery store or anything.
Yep.
If traveling across our highways is a little cheaper, then it's a little cheaper.
That's right. And those products that you're buying at the grocery store and clothing on the shelves and electronics, all that's going to be coming down. There's so much positivity. Here's a quick clip, too, from Peter Navarro, one of my favorite economists. He's a big-time China hawk in the Trump administration. Listen to this one.
Killing manufacturing. They just got caught in that globalist lie by one number, 52.6. 52.6. That's January's ISM Manufacturing Index. Above 50 means manufacturing is expanding. And this wasn't close. The ISM jumped nearly 5 full points in a single month. The kind of move that signals a real shift in the economy.
So the economy is shifting. Manufacturing's coming back. Onshoring. We're going to be creating more products. Yeah. Steel. We had Mike Murphy on the show, Murphy Auto Group. He's our auto industry expert. He was talking about Hyundai building a $8.6 billion facility either in Arkansas, Alabama, somewhere, in that area. So there's a lot of positive.
They already had a big one, I think, in Alabama or Mississippi, like a huge one. So I would think Arkansas instead of the same state.
You got steel. You got all these manufacturing generators, There's a lot of movement, man. A lot of positivity.
I don't know. If they put it in Arkansas, they'll be up by Walmart. Maybe Walmart starts selling. No, I'm only kidding.
Yeah, there you go. Well, combination of services. There you go.
Yeah.
There's entrepreneurship.
Ship them out.
Yeah, that's right. So tell us about your business. How are you helping people out there? What types of properties do you like to work with?
I do them all, and I can tell you this: especially if you're buying an old property, don't cheap out on your inspection.
Yeah.
I mean, hire a good inspector that has experience. I've been in construction for 40 years, been inspecting for 15 years. I get people that call me for a 1920s house or a 30s house, and sometimes it's all about price. And that's, don't say $50.
I know,
just
man.
Telling you, just don't do it.
I heard a horror story too. I went to one of our friends' house. He always hosts a nice Super Bowl party, and we turned the channel for the Turning Point USA. But we were over there, and he's telling me a story about a neighboring house, nice area, nice community, really high end. He said, the guy bought it. He was a flipper. He bought it and didn't do an inspection, but he also didn't do title search. Guess what happened? Ooh, boy, he found out real quick. He had a couple $100,000 of whatever types of liens that he didn't expect, and now it's an eyesore.
Title doesn't cost that much. I mean, why would you skip?
I just don't get it when you hear these stories about that. I mean, this is a nice high end community. He probably spent, of course, when they're buying them like that, they're buying them somewhat undervalued. But still, this one got to a point where the guy, ended up punching holes in the walls and things like that. He's so mad. But then you got to be careful there, too, because even though you take out your frustrations at the bank, they can come back and charge you for, what the damage you did make.
Yeah, absolutely.
Poking holes in drywalls.
I don't want to go back to the 2008 day. That was crazy.
That was terrible. Man, the mortgage meltdown, the irrational exuberance, the pick a payment loans.
And there's nothing on the horizon that points me in that direction, just to let you know.
Exactly. No. Anytime
I have
hear
a positive outlook on where the market's going.
That's right. Anytime I hear people saying stuff like that, I'm like, come on, you got to get real, man. That was irrational. That was, a lot of the stuff that happened. It was the old guard, man. Yeah. Really, if you look at the old style, you look at the politics, you look at, what put us in this position.
Mortgages, what was going on at the time. It's completely different now. We're not in a place to go back to that spot. We're just.
I want to get to this clip because this was just really eye-opening when you think about the amount of money that's being wasted. And this was just last week. Senator Josh Hawley was interviewing. It says the gentleman's name in this clip, but it's $1 trillion of wasteful spending, and it's funding terrorism.
Senator Josh Hawley from Missouri just found out that $1 trillion a year of our tax dollars is funding terrorism, child trafficking, and letting scammers live like kings, all on your dime. Haywood Talkov, a government fraud expert, is testifying in front of the Homeland Security Subcommittee about how it's happening.
You're telling me that the electrician who goes to work every day and clocks in and works his butt off and tries to earn just enough to be able to, make his rent, maybe have a kid or two, put food on the table, his tax money is being used to buy other people luxury items, cars, yachts, whatever else, and is going to fund terrorism and child trafficking?
Yes, sir.
$1 trillion a year on this stuff?
$115 million an hour.
$115 million per hour. I don't know. If you break down your hourly wage, where do you come in at? Where do I come at? I know it's not $115 million. I know it's less than $1 million an hour, but that's a lot of money, man.
It just tells you, the federal government's too large. I mean, if you're letting this slip through the cracks, that is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, and what was it a couple years back? It's something like the Pentagon lost $1 trillion or $2 trillion, wasn't it, Dave? Do you remember that? Dave's a military guy. He keeps us up to date on the military stuff. Yeah, how does that happen? No. Well, it's government bureaucracy, bloated, wastefulness. Like if we didn't do our taxes by time, on a certain time, and we didn't submit, you're going to get a call from the IRS. Yeah. I've gotten some of those calls, like, hey, where's your quarterly payment or whatever, where's your, and you have to, but it's a double standard, and you look at, let's put up that graph, Dave. We had a graph that showed the politician's wage versus the average American's wage. And look at this. So politicians versus the average person's net worth it is.
I'm in the wrong business.
Look at this. Look at this. If you're missing our version here, you got to go on our social media, follow us on YouTube. But 2,473% politicians as of 2023, the average person 341% increase, I guess, since over 30 years, since 1989. So politicians versus the average person.
Now, I've never wanted to be a politician, but I might have to reconsider.
There you go. If you run, I'll back you. How about that? All right, let's take a quick break, come back and talk more with Jay Smith, A-Snoop Inspection, A-Snoop.com. You can find him online. Also on our website at ConsumerQB.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors. Make sure you check that out. Click over to our YouTube channel. Follow us on social at Brandon Rimes1 at CQB Show. Quick break. Right back. More with Jay Smith, A-Snoop Inspection here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Also, Elon Musk weighing in on this what happened to all the insane asylums in the country. We're going to talk about that here coming up on the show.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Did you know that we buy houses cash? We can close quickly for a all-cash offer on your real estate properties, residential, commercial, even vacant land. We'll buy your property cash. No cleaning, no showings, and no hassles. You can even possibly stay in your home post-closing. Call Brandon at 813-917-1894. Submit the email at consumerqb.com or call 813-917-1894. consumerqb.com. We buy houses cash and fast.
Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, the official Pinellas County restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Say hello to Doug Clark, chef and owner Doug Clark, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Excellent food, wonderful ambiance. Say hello to our friend Doug Clark. If you're facing an insurance claim, don't just trust the insurance company to have your best interests at heart. This is Brandon Rimes, Consumer Quarterback Show. Reach out to rightwaypa.com, our friend Derek Coble at rightwaypa.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rimes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team. Going to touch on this story, recent post from Elon around insane asylums. It's kind of interesting post that he made. We got Jay Smith in studio with us, A-Snoop Inspection. And we always like to feature our listings on air. We got some great opportunities here for vacant land, commercial properties, residential properties. Here's one at 10248 Carlo Way Hills Drive. This one's in Wimauma, Florida. Kind of our southern listening audience here. This is in Hillsborough County. You have a 322, 1451 square feet. This one's located in the highly desirable Stone Ridge at Ayersworth community. Open air, open layout there, split floor plan, beautiful property, ceramic tile. You got carpet in the bedrooms. Great opportunity to buy real estate right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. This one's in Wimauma, Florida, 10248 Carlo Way Hills in beautiful Tampa Bay. 12941 Wildflower Meadow Drive in Riverview. Another listing. This one's from Doug on our team, who's an all-star, man. He's doing a great job knocking it out of the park on a lot of our listing appointments, bringing in a lot of deals each week. 5 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, 2949 square feet. This was in Triple Creek, which is a vibrant Riverview community. This one is owned by a former chef, so you have a stylish kitchen, stainless steel appliances, sleek granite countertops, plenty of storage space, hurricane shutters, and access to resort-style amenities. You got multiple pools, fitness center, playground, walking trails, and more. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com, and you can see all of our radio and TV show expert contributors, including Jay Smith, the Snoop Dog, at consumerqb.com. All right, Jay, so when you get into the home inspections business, you start thinking about different areas of concern. I think one of the main areas, too, is when people look at buying a resale versus that new build, right? Mm-hmm. And then sometimes they say, I'll just trust the builder. You go with what they say. No, this is another area of concern, right? We have to have your own independent inspection.
You should. I mean, and we're doing a lot of new construction. Not everybody gets them inspected, but some people actually pay attention and get it done. Got another phone call today asking, hey, we need it in April. And usually we're setting this up pretty early on to make sure all the paperwork in. They treat us like a subcontractor when we go do a new construction. So we got to send our license and insurance and all that fun stuff over to the builder to be able to go onto the property, which is, no big deal. Yeah. Usually just takes days to set it up. But you can do a couple different inspections, either pre-drywall inspection before, they're closing up the inside, or at least just do the inspection before you take possession. Usually the day before, day after you're doing your walkthrough. Usually best would be the day before. Yeah, it's important. And reach out to a-snoop.com for all of your inspections. Support the local economy by supporting Jay and companies just like him that you see here on our talk show every day, 6 days a week here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So we had another trans shooting last week, and you see all these things in the news, and you see, so I like this post by Elon. He said, if someone is guilty of a heinous violent crime and is able to plead insanity, they should go to an asylum, not be released to be able to recommit, right? And so let's put up that chart. You have the most insane chart you'll ever see. So this is from End Wokeness on TV here on X, that is. So in 1955, the population of the United States was 165 million, and today it's 348 million, or 2025, okay? The number of mental asylums in the United States, back when the population was 165, was just over 500,000 insane asylums. Now, there's only 35,000. So that's the problem with a lot of these issues we're seeing in our country, is that we, unfortunately, we don't call out. We allow them to be... and we're seeing that, did you see that case last week? The trans, one of the minors, she sued the medical establishment and won a $2 million verdict. So I'm all about that. You need to go back to calling it what it is and not trying to dance around people's feelings. That's the problem. Absolutely. And when you have these shootings and different things going on, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. It's not the gun that comes to mind. It's, right. What was this person like? What was going on? Was there some kind of problems in their life at the time? And it seems like most of the time that's the case. Yep, and they have people around them that don't hold them accountable. So, by the way, if you haven't seen Charlie Kirk's new book, this is it. Stop in the Name of God, Why Honoring the Sabbath Will Transform Your Life. And that's where it all starts. It starts with these ideologies and all these, feminism leads to wokeness, and then you have these people saying they're trans or they're born in the wrong body. No, you're not. You're not born in. So out of page 25 here on this book, it says, the God of the Bible, by contrast, is not merely the strongest among gods. He is the one creator of all things, and therefore the sole foundation for truth, justice, and goodness. So if you haven't seen this, check it out. Charlie Kirk's great book, Stop in the Name of God, Why Honoring the Sabbath Will Transform Your Life. Excellent book. I'm slowly working through it. I'm a little bit slower reader than I am listening to podcasts and listening to audiobooks. But Jay Smith, thanks for coming in, man. Hi, good to be here. Always good catching up with you. Support the local economy. Jay Smith, great home inspector. He's a longtime friend of the show, our longest running contributor on the program. And we have coming up, we're going to talk sports. We're going to shift gears, talk sports. Scott Reynolds joining us in studio here from the PewterReport. We're going to talk with him, Tampa Bay Bucks, some football. What about NIL? What's your thoughts on NIL and some of these other things happening out there? Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rimes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back, Consumer Quarterback Show. We got Scott Reynolds joining us from the PewterReport. Going to talk with some sports with him, some Buccaneers. You got the scouting combine coming up in Indianapolis and NIL, big changes in college, and kind of get his perspective. Kind of reconnected with Scott when I was watching the Amazon special. If you haven't seen that, Amazon Prime, it's called Raise the Flag. So it's like a 10 series or something like that, 10 episode series about the Bucs. So it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. So we'll talk with Scott here in just a moment. Before we do, we always like to feature our real estate listings live on air, maximizing the exposure and the profit on the sale of our real estate listings. And it's part of a strategy that helps us sell faster for more money with maximum exposure on our real estate listings, broadcasting the entire Gulf Coast of Florida. 12948 Twin Bridges Drive in Riverview, another one of my favorite listings. Beautiful property. This one is a great opportunity to buy real estate. Now, you got a large home here, 443, 3235 square feet, quarter-acre lot. Beautiful interior. I mean, it has all the upgrades that you'd see in a beautiful home like this. Lighter color kitchen cabinetry. You got that tile with the wood look on the flooring. You got a beautiful lanai. No backyard neighbor. Triple Creek community. Lots of amenities there. Great opportunity to buy real estate right there in Riverview at 12948 Twin Bridges Drive, Riverview, Florida. All right, we got one at 9078 Birmingham Avenue. This one's in Weeki Wachee, Florida. You got plenty of land here in Weeki Wachee. The further north you go, you get a little bit more land. So close to 2 acres. This is a 321, 2452 square feet. Almost 2 acres. It's fenced in. You got completely fenced in. You got a private driveway there. Lots of privacy. You got an electric gate, metal carports, detached. Gorgeous property on the interior as well. It's built in 04, so it's a relatively new home. Beautiful flooring. And nice sliders there, lighter color kitchen cabinetry there as well. A large island for breakfast and lunches there. Beautiful property right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Weeki Wachee, Florida, home of the mermaids. I've heard about her mermaid. You ever seen mermaids up there, Scott?
I have seen the mermaids up there, yes.
There you go. That's cool, man. So we also have the Weeki Wachee Marina for sale up there. So, all right, see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And you can see all of our radio and TV show expert contributors and link up to our YouTube channel with previous shows at consumerqb.com. All right, welcome in, Scott. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this with you. This is a good opportunity for us to kind of reconnect. We met probably, 5-6 years ago, maybe?
It's been a while, yeah. I think it was that Lucky Dill. We had a lunch.
That's right. We did. Lucky Dill, yeah.
Back in the day, yeah. So let's jump right into it, man. You look at the Buccaneers, man. What? First of all, Amazon special, that was cool. That was fun.
That was fun.
What's your takeaway from that?
A lot of behind-the-scenes things that I didn't even realize, right? I mean, there's a couple of standout moments that stood out to me. This past season was my 30th year of covering the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Cool.
Walked in the door in 1995 with Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks. That's the year the Blazers bought the team.
Yeah.
So, that was kind of a big year, not just for me, but for the team itself.
Martin Gramatica, was he there at that time?
He came in 1999.
Okay, 99.
Fellow Kansas State Wildcat.
Yeah.
Like myself, so that was
cool.
great. Yeah, good to see Martine come in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really fun to do. I was honored that the team chose me to take part in that. I think part of the reason is because I'm old and I've been around for 30 years. I had a lot to talk about, but that was a really cool honor for me to be able to do that. And I thought the Trent Cooper and Ed Laser did a fantastic job putting that together. The feedback from the fans has just been incredible. I loved the story where Ali Marpet got absolutely ripped by Tom Brady in the huddle up against the New York Jets game.
Yep.
That was the Antonio Brown peace out game.
Yes.
And I had no idea that took place, where Ali kept getting chewed out in the huddle, play after play by Tom Brady. Tristan Wirfs was like, man, he was just relentless.
Yeah.
But Brady, that just kind of was a glimpse at how intense he was. We saw it from the sidelines and the LFG and all of the intensity there. But like in the huddle, that was a really cool story that was shared. And you heard Ali Marpet's commentary about it too. That was really cool, behind the scenes look.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I love those behind the scenes and kind of mic'd up moments.
Yeah.
Those are so much fun because as a former player, quarterback myself, I didn't play nearly as long, of course, but it's just fun. Those are great memories. And, We had some good teams, won some championships and all that. But you think about, the inner workings of a team and the different personalities and, the quarterback being the guy that just has to be the one, right?
Yes,
he's got to be the one.
Yeah.
So if you just joined us, we're talking with Scott Reynolds of the PewterReport, 30 years covering the Bucs. I didn't realize that. That's a lot of time, man.
Yeah.
What do you think? Let's first do a Bucs preview going into next year. What are we losing? What are we getting? What do you think?
This is a really pivotal year for the franchise, right? Because the Blazers decided to keep Todd Bowles after the collapse down the second half of the season. This team started off 6-2. They finished 2-7 with an 8-9 record. Now they had a chance to win the division again, but they lost the tiebreaker to the Carolina Panthers, another 8-9 team. There were 3 losing teams at 8-9. It's kind of embarrassing when you win the division with an 8-9 record. But the Buccaneers did that in Tom Brady's last season, Todd Bowles' first season as head coach in 2022. So now you've got Todd Bowles with a pair of 8-9 seasons, and then in between you had a 9-7 and you had a 9-8 and a 10-7 season. And only one playoff victory during that stretch.
Pretty mediocre, in my opinion.
It is. It's a mediocre record. And so I think Todd he's going to enter this season on the hot seat. Fans are not really happy about that. We'll see if the Blazers are making the right move or not. But the big move might be Mike Evans possibly leaving the Buccaneers. He has said through his agents he wants to explore his options in free agency. And, Mike will be 33 in August. This is going to be probably the last contract he gets, I would imagine. A 2-year deal, either in Tampa Bay or elsewhere.
Yep.
And I think if Buccaneer fans would just take off their pewter-colored glasses for a minute and understand that, everybody wants Mike to go wire to wire in red and pewter, right, and finish his career as a Buccaneer. Sure. We saw that with Derek Brooks, Mike Allstott, Rondé Barber, Leroy Selman, some legends.
Yep.
But it doesn't always have a happy ending. John Lynch ended up as a Bronco. Warren Sapp ended up as a Raider. We don't always get that happy ending we want. And the thing is it's not really about money, Brandon. I think Mike wants one more shot at a Super Bowl ring.
Right.
And that opportunity to win. And it was a bit damning how Todd Bowles' defense over the last 2 years has not gotten this team where he or anybody wants it to go.
Yeah.
He saw Tom Brady come down as an icon from the New England Patriots to Tampa Bay, join a new team, be that missing puzzle piece to help the Buccaneers unlock that championship door.
Yep.
And I just wonder if having seen that and been a part of welcoming Brady in, if Mike says, I could do that for another franchise. Maybe I'd go to Buffalo, help Josh Allen get over the hump, and finally get a Super Bowl in Buffalo. You can be a legend in 2 places.
Yeah.
Brady,
I see that.
Brady's always going to be a legend in New England. Shoot, they just built a statue of the guy, right? They put him in the Ring of Honor. He's going to go into the Hall of Fame as a Patriot, but he's still a part of the Buccaneers.
Right. Can't take that away.
You can't take that away.
Yep.
And so I think you look at John Lynch. He's got a Ring of Honor, his name in the Ring of Honor in Denver and also in Tampa. So you can be a part of 2 franchises and be a legend in 2 places. And maybe Mike is saying, what would it be like to play with maybe Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City? What would it be like to play with Josh Allen in Buffalo, right? Those are a couple of teams that might be interested in him.
Yeah, that's interesting. Great point. I like that. And speaking of that, too, you go back to that second contract. A lot of times the running backs don't get that, right? So you like Warwick Dunn.
Yeah,
I think Warwick Dunn didn't get his second contract. He had to go out of town to get his money. And, some people, hey, that's the economics behind the game, right? You have that cap now. You have the cap that you're dealing with. John Gruden is one that comes to mind, too, man. Didn't they take his name off the Ring of Honor at one point?
They did, for the email scandal. And I think
from like 10, 15 years ago or whatever.
Well, it was a little sooner than that. But when he got fired from the Raiders, right, there was those emails and Brian Glazer's name was in there with some disparaging remarks. And, What I do like about how it transpired, and John Gruden's name is back up in the Ring of Honor as it should be, is it's a Christian tenet, but you don't have to be a Christian for forgiveness, right? And I think forgiveness is a tremendous thing to bestow. It's a relationship constructor, especially when the relationship has fallen apart as it did. I mean, John Gruden went from being the first and only guy at the time to deliver the Buccaneers a Super Bowl championship. Bruce Arians has done that since. But for John to reconcile with the Blazers and have that meeting of the minds and the forgiveness, that was just great to see, especially because of this past season being the 50th year for the Buccaneers. it would have just been wrong if the Blazers had given him the stiff arm and just kind of tried to whitewash history, because he's been a big part of the Bucks championship history. He's still, to this day, the winningest head coach in team history.
Wow.
So that was a really good thing. It makes your heart feel good that the Blazers and John Gruden could come together and in the act of forgiveness put his name back up in the Ring of Honor where it belonged.
Yeah, that's great. And coming off a lot of people say that was Tony's team that he won the Super Bowl with, so there's that whole thing there. And there's a lot of ground to cover in little time, but I wanted to get also, just off the Bucks for a minute, and we'll go to USF, because I played on the inaugural team. I was a member of that team.
I was there for that first game under Jim Leavitt. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And then they ran Jim out of town, and you get buried behind these contracts with one coach after another, Skip Holt, Taggart, this whole thing. Willie, I just, I think he was kind of a DEI hire. You see him bouncing around. I just see, I didn't, Anyways, where do you see USF going? Like, where are we at now? What do you think is going to happen with USF? And
just such a key move to get Brian Hartline. I think that's an absolute home run hire.
Okay.
And to go from Alex Golish, who, didn't come in with a lot of fanfare, right? He didn't come in and like set the town on fire. Came in with a good pedigree, good resume from Tennessee, right? Working with Josh Heupel. But when he got here, it took him a while, but then he built this team into, that was must-see football last year.
That's great.
I went to a couple games at Ray J last year, and it was phenomenal. Matter of fact, USF partnered with us last year, and we helped promote season tickets. We helped promote individual game tickets, and it was great to see Ray J become more full. I remember that West Virginia game, right?
Yeah.
And that was a sold-out Raymond James Stadium when Jim Leavitt, was here. The Rutgers game. There's a lot of big-time football games at Raymond James Stadium for USF, and it was great to see more fans check out the hometown team here. And I think that the program's in really good hands. I think Hartline coming from Ohio State.
Yep.
They just won a national championship in 2024. That's just a fantastic hire. He's got a reputation for putting wide receivers like Emeka Egbuka in the NFL.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, man. It really will. And hopefully we can, continue to build, get back to where we're respected nationally.
I agree.
And the thing about that team though, last year and the year before, you pull that quarterback out of the equation. How many wins do they get versus what they got? But
it's always been the quarterback, no matter where it is, and USF for sure. Whether it's Grothy, whether it was Brown last year. When USF has a quarterback, they do good things.
Yeah.
And when they don't, they don't.
So do we have a good quarterback coming in next year?
I don't know. I'm a Kansas State alum, so I'm kind of like I jumped on the Bulls bandwagon at the beginning of the season because I just knew they were going to beat Boise State, and I watched that game intently. And wearing the black uniforms, they came out and they took it to a ranked Boise State team.
Yeah.
And I think I may have missed 2 or 3 games like for the rest of the season, but every time they were on TV, I was watching them.
Yeah.
Just one of those teams I just latched onto. Great defense, high scoring, potent offense.
Yeah.
Really fun brand of football to watch.
It was fun to watch, and I would just wish we'd have continued that with Miami with that loss.
I know,
Miami.
yeah.
And I just think going back to that Miami game, you can always say what if, this and that, and complain about refereeing, but there were a couple bad calls early on in that game where that momentum. I remember we were about to score, and then whatever, it was like, dude, that was a flag, should have been a call. But anyways, you can always go back and complain about that. If you just joined us, we're talking with Scott Reynolds here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rimes. Now, Scott is with PewterReport. Does awesome coverage on the Bucks. They've got a podcast, got a very popular website, social media presence. So make sure you follow him, give him a follow out there. And Scott, I wanted to get into a little bit about the changes that have happened over these last 4, 5, 6 years. With NIL, kids getting paid now. These athletes, what's going on with that? What's the pros? What's the cons? What's your thoughts around NIL?
I don't like the player movement a whole bunch. I used to love the NBA back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Right. I was a Lakers fan, but whether you were a Lakers fan, a Celtics fan, a Sixers, Houston Rockets, whatever, it's like those teams were associated with star players, and those star players just never left. Right. Larry Bird was a Celtic. Magic Johnson was a Laker, right? That's just how it was. So you had those identities. And then I think what really hurt the NBA is these guys just started getting traded and just chasing checks.
Yep.
And it's like if you liked a player and you bought his jersey, I mean, 3 or 4 years later, you get 3 or 4 different jerseys in your closet, you know?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it became more
They're
about
not cheap, man. Those
right.
are expensive jerseys.
It became more about the players than it did the teams, and I think that's really where the NBA went awry and lost me as a viewer, right?
Yeah.
But college football, kind of the same way now, too, a little bit. I don't like the idea of players just up and leaving and oh, it's hard, and I didn't win the starting job, so I'm going to hit the transfer portal. I think it's putting so much pressure on coaches. I saw Kansas State's head coach, Chris Kleiman, retire this year.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to deal with it. He's like, I want to coach football. I don't want to have to deal with roster management and who's coming and going, and I got to make sure this kid gets playing time or he's going to chase a check to go to that school the next year. I think it's hurt the product in that way.
Yeah.
I would love to see it because it's become the NFL. It's basically become NFL Junior.
Exactly.
And if they're going to do that, there needs to be a salary cap in place.
Yes.
And there also needs to be contracts.
Yeah.
Right? If you sign a player, let's say the Buccaneers re-sign Mike Evans for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Buccaneer for 2 years.
Yeah.
Unless they trade him, right? But you don't see a lot of trades in the NFL. You just don't. And so my whole thing is I think these college players, you get to the transfer portal twice, and that's it. When you sign with the team, it's 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Quick break. Right back. More with Scott Reynolds. We're going to talk more. Continue this conversation. Yeah. NIL, man. Wow. How interesting that is. It's changed the game. You constantly, as a coaching staff, got to be figuring out, who am I going to replace? Who's my number 2 now? Who's my, it's unbelievably. I just can't imagine, and that's why Saban left too, I believe. And I own one NFL jersey. Actually, I bought one NFL jersey. It's Pat Tillman.
There you go.
Pat Tillman,
that's
the
a good
classic.
one to have.
He left the paycheck to go fight in the war. What a guy, man. Pat Tillman. I own others, I should say, but Warwick Dunn and others. But anyways, quick break. Right back. Scott Reynolds here from the Pewter Report on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rimes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Tired of long lines at the airport? Check out Tampa Bay's premier private jet source. I'm Brandon Rimes for Will Smith Aviation. Aircraft management, acquisition, and sales, luxury jet escapes, and packages. Check them out online. WillSmithAviation.com. That's WillSmithAviation.com. Or call the show. I'll put you right in touch directly with Captain Will Smith. AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com for all of your non-woke, American-made products. American values, Christian, conservative American values. Say hello to my business partner, Jim McCune at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Say hello to Shane Socash, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, 4009 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg. Online at David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com for all of your precious metals and jewelry design. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for Jason Coble, owner of Coble Law. Coble Law has been handling injury cases in Tampa for the past 14 years and has a specialized approach focused on limiting client cost and maximizing client profit. TampaWorkCompLaw.com. TampaWorkCompLaw.com. Jason Coble, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, personal injury law, and work comp law. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for our friends at TargetSurveying.net for all of your surveying needs. Land surveying firm providing services for real estate since 1992, and they are statewide. Check them out online, TargetSurveying.net. That's TargetSurveying.net. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rimes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com. That's ConsumerQB, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing? We would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Scott Reynolds in studio with us, PewterReport. Make sure you follow him on social. He's got a lot of great content out there, especially if you're a Bucks fan, local Tampa Bay fan. You're going to love the PewterReport. Check him out online. A couple of hot listings. We'll jump right back into it. We always like to feature our properties on air and get our sellers that maximum exposure that they are looking for. 2488 Del Rio Way. This one's in Dunedin. Beautiful home here. Completely remodeled. Gorgeous property. 3-2 with a one-car garage. You got 1,407 square feet, quarter-acre lot. All new kitchen with quartz countertops, white shaker cabinetry, stainless steel appliances. You got a farm sink, got a fenced-in backyard there. Gorgeous property. The bathrooms are updated. The living room, the laundry room as well. Gorgeous property here. 2488 Del Rio Way, Dunedin, Florida. Another beautiful listing from the Platinum MVP team. 1006 Kenmore Drive. This one's in Brandon. We have a motivated seller here. This one's actually a short sale. 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,502 square feet. Just looking for that investor offer. You got a pool and lots of opportunity here to make this beautiful, beautiful home. Hardwood flooring, tile. Check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And you can see all of our radio and TV show experts at consumerqb.com.
This is God's country.
All right, yeah. So a lot of interesting things happening, man. And South Florida, by the way, creates a lot of these NFL athletes. I grew up playing, even in high school, I played against Edgerrin James, Anquan Bolden, Travis Henry, Kenny Kelly, Daryl Jackson, like a lot of these big names here that have kind of made their way. But what's your thoughts around where the athletes come from, in recruiting, right?
Well, yeah, and the interesting thing is I coached my son's Pop Warner football team for 6 years, the South Pasco Predators.
Cool.
We had a kid, Wade Woodaz, on our team who was a 3-year starter at Clemson as a linebacker.
Cool.
And he's going to be out in the draft. I'm actually going to go see him at the Combine. I coached him for like 4 years.
Nice.
That's a surreal moment. Also, Rocco Becht, Anthony's son, was our quarterback for 1 year. And he's went to Iowa State and then now Penn State.
Yeah.
So it's been fun to see some of these kids. You mentioned Edgerrin James. We actually lost a playoff game to Edgerrin James' son with the Port St. Lucie Pirates.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some really good athletes in this state and in South Florida for sure. Really,
yeah, it really is to see, man. Just Pahokee, Belglade, some of those different athletes over the years that we played against. We beat all those guys too that I mentioned. We had an undefeated senior year, but yeah, man. Final thoughts, brother. Get on his social, check out his social media. You got a lot on your YouTube channel too.
Yeah,
right?
we do podcasts 4 days a week, whether it's in season or out of season. Lots to talk about right now with free agency and the draft. Nobody covers the off season better than PewterReport does. Our YouTube channel is PewterReport TV, and we have those podcasts on Monday through Thursday live at 4 o'clock. You can also watch the archive version. Todd Bowles and Jason Light could be talking to the media on Tuesday at the NFL Scouting Combine. We'll have a reaction show to that on Tuesday's podcast, so make sure to check that out. We'll be in Indianapolis all week next week. It's supposed to be cold. I thought we were done with the cold, Brandon, but it's going to be cold up there, like lows in the 20s, highs in the 30s, so back to winter I go for a week up there in Indianapolis at the Scouting Combine.
Let's send all those snowbirds down here, buy some real estate from the Platinum
Absolutely.
MVP team. We'll get them a nice home down here. And, yeah, man, a lot of good stuff happening. What are the Bucks season going to be like? Early prediction, where are we at?
It's going to depend on who comes and who goes in free agency in the draft. If they have a good draft, maybe this team is 9 or 10 wins. I just think that with Todd Bowles, you're hitting a ceiling at maybe 10 wins and probably not going. I think they're going to have a new coach come in ultimately to take this team to the next level.
Could Gruden come out of retirement on the Buccaneers? Could that be a
there's a part of me that I'd love to see it. He was my favorite coach. I mean, I loved covering John Gruden and still friends with him today. I'm not sure that's in the cards, though.
That one's doubtful. Yeah. All right, man. Well, hey, good stuff. Always fun talking sports.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, another great show. We had Jay Smith, the Snoop Dogg home inspection on the front end. Of course, Scott Reynolds. Check him out online on his socials as well. PewterReport on the program as well. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And thanks for shopping local, working with the local companies that are represented here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. You can see all of our experts, any kind of shopping you want to do, white collar, blue collar, go to consumerqb.com. You can see all of our experts there, and make sure you link over to our YouTube channel where you can click right on the consumerqb.com. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.